Hello, hello.
Well, hello there.
Hi. So, welcome to the fourth episode of the Catchy Chatter podcast. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty good. A little sleep deprived, but I'm here.
Yeah, honestly relatable. My sleep has honestly been devastating.
I feel that. Like, I don't know what happened in the universe for them to, like, send this fucking sleep deprived shit my way, but I really just want it to be over with.
Yeah, I need a sleep schedule that's worked out a little bit better. At the same time, my current setting makes it a little tricky to have a set sleep schedule.
I feel that.
Yeah, especially if I want to do stuff like stream in the evenings or the events I do like in the wee hours.
Yeah, it requires, like, a lot of energy.
So BPM Bunny is actually a very cute name for yourself. Uh, tell
Thank
me,
you.
tell me about that. Tell me about your brands. Uh, how you got into doing stuff like DJing.
So, initially, I want to say I got into, like, dance music when I was around, like, 4 or 5. I would listen to, like, basically like classic like club hits on the radio, like Be My Lover for one, or like The Rhythm of the Night, like really like 90s like dancey like club hits. And I didn't really like actually get like a dancey like kind of CD until I was like maybe like 5, I want to say. It was Aqua Aquarium. I don't know if you know who Aqua is, but
Yeah,
they're definitely like somebody that I really loved as a kid. But I think that was like my first like initial step into like getting into dance music. But I didn't really like get deeper into like EDM and stuff until I was maybe like 14. I was just like sitting at home, like just trying to look for new music because I was really bored with metal, and like I was really into metal as a kid. Um, and I just wanted like something new. So I just started kind of going back to like my roots and looking into dance music and stuff. And then I um I got into like different subgenres of EDM, like happy hardcore, hard style, drum and bass, jungle, stuff like that.
yeah,
And I didn't really get into raves until I was like 16. I was bullied a lot for being trans, and it was like really rough on me. So like going to raves and stuff really brought a lot of the, I guess it like really was like a safe haven for me. Like as a trans kid, it just really made me feel like at home because nobody really judged me. Like as a teen, like I would just, I don't know, I could just be myself, and like just the vibes and the energy around me was just like very like homey, I guess. Like it was like very like just a lot of home vibes essentially.
yeah. Honestly, relatable. That's how it is for me and like, conventions. Actually, speaking of conventions, MTAC's coming up. That's actually where I first ran into you IRL. You were DJing for that. I still have the candy bracelet you gave me.
Aw, I'm really happy you still have it.
Yeah,
Um, I think that was a really fun event, honestly. I was like super nervous because that was like my first big, like big event that I was DJing for. But I'm happy that I was able to use my equipment because like I really didn't think I was gonna turn it out the way it did. But I'm happy that I was able to actually perform well.
yeah. I. Oh, hey. Were you about to say something? Sounded like you cut out for a second.
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay. So, what I was gonna say is, I definitely remember that year. I'm a little bit sad still. I couldn't make it to your show because the set right beforehand, I was filming out in a crowd, and someone backflipped into my skull.
Oh gosh. I
Yeah,
think I vaguely remember like someone telling me that you were like on the floor or something, and I was like, I really hope that she's okay. Like,
yeah. I'm still alive. I'm still okay. Like, no harm, no foul. I probably have brain damage. I don't know.
yeah, I definitely would assume considering like somebody backflipped into you and you fell, like, gosh.
Yeah, I will say I remember it hurt like hell. Uh, but I also don't like. I don't even remember what the guy looked like anymore.
Was this like during my set or before my set?
It was right before.
Oh wow.
Like I was filming a little bit of the crowd before you went on. Uh, and I saw some folks like forming a little aisle, and some folks dancing along it. I was trying to film like the aisle itself. It was getting formed. I didn't realize that behind me someone else was trying to do backflips into the aisle,
Oh wow.
especially because of the way people were forming.
Yeah. Are you gonna be doing MTAC again this year?
Oh yeah, definitely. I just recently got my bus ticket for Nashville.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I also get like some of it comped by MTAC. Uh,
Oh, yeah, that's definitely good then.
yeah, I would actually be sad. The amount of money it costs to travel anywhere is kind of ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, I'm supposed to be having a gig in Vegas this summer, and I think it's gonna cost like $1,200, like for everything.
Oh damn. Yeah. Speaking of gigs, remind me again, like, how long have you been doing gigs, and like, what sort of shows have you done? Like, I know we talked about MTAC, but like, what other big gigs do you pick up?
Yeah, so I initially started dabbling in DJing at 17. And this is, oh my God, this is so crazy to think of. But me and my best friend would try to DJ ourselves when I was like 17. We didn't have like a controller, so we just used like my desktop in my dad's garage because my dad was super into music. Growing up, that's like kind of like one of the more like common grounds that me and my dad have because my dad grew up in like a musical family. I come from a musical family because of him and like my mom's dad and stuff like that. So that's kind of like I guess the common ground for it. But um my best friend and I would take my desktop outside in this garage that we had and we would just like blare nothing but like happy hardcore or like industrial and like drum and bass, and dubstep was actually just becoming a thing back then. So we would just kind of like listen to like various types of music, and then we would try to like create a mix from like the various genres essentially. um we used virtual DJ and we were using like a mouse to mix. It was so difficult, but um that's I guess like my first time like actually trying to DJ. I didn't start taking like DJing seriously. I kind of dabbled in it off and on until like about 5 years ago actually. It was during the pandemic. I had always wanted to do it and I started like getting a nice little surplus of like income from doing like my full-time work. And I initially wanted to, I guess, get into it. And I had some DJ friends that I had met from like over the years, like raving and stuff like that. And um, my first mentor, his name is Papa Bear. He actually spins like house and disco and like um, breaks and stuff like that. So initially, like he was the first person that actually taught me how to DJ. And then my other mentor, Lucky Rabbit, who is based out of LA, actually taught me how to spin like hard style and the harder genres. And then from there, just kind of like crafted my own unique like twist to DJing essentially. But I think like my most memorable event would probably be last year. I got to DJ out of an ambulance for this haunted house, like essentially like this like haunted it's like a big haunt that these people do like every year, and they reached out to me and were like, hey, like we're gonna be doing a rave at our haunt. And I was like, that sounds fucking cool, okay. And it started getting rained out, so they had an additional secondary stage, and I shit you not, it was an ambulance, and like it was made up to be like a horror style ambulance. And like in the back there was a table and there was all kinds of speakers and like a really cool audio setup, and then like, you know, like a table where you can put like your equipment and stuff like that. And that was probably like my favorite event that I've actually done, because it was just such a crazy setup. Like who would think to like actually DJ outside of like, or not outside of, inside of an ambulance of all the places in the world.
Oh my god. So honestly, that sounds pretty fucking wild. I've not heard of someone DJing out of an ambulance before.
It was insane. It was very like creative. It was definitely last minute, but they really pulled it together.
Yeah. So outside of DJing, what sort of other stuff do you do? Or are like into? I know you're into anime, of course. We've met at an
Yeah.
anime con.
I'm like super into anime. Oh gosh. I started getting into anime when I was like maybe like 4 or 5. My grandmother used to watch me when my mom would work, and she'd put me in front of the TV and it'd be like Sailor Moon or like Gundam or Cowboy Bebop or like Dragon Ball on TV, and I would just like sit there and watch that. But I didn't really start getting into anime until I was maybe like, God, like maybe like 14 or 15. My friend gave me a Full Metal Alchemist manga to read one day during class, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Like, I never read manga before, and I was like, okay, this is like really cool. Like, I really want to watch and like read a lot more of this. So that's when I first got into anime. Like, I guess like me reaching out and like wanting to watch it. I think like the first actual series I watched was Death Note. I was like 15 at the time, and it had just came out on like Adult Swim, like Toonami, and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna give it a shot. And then like I started watching it, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah,
Which I actually cosplayed as Misa from Death Note for a Twitch set that I did, like a Twitch DJ set, and that was a set that I submitted to MTAC that got me my gig there.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What other characters do you tend to cosplay? I think I've seen a few.
Yeah, I've cosplayed as Elastigirl from The Incredibles. I think that's probably one of my most memorable ones that people always like bring up. I've cosplayed as Dexter's mom from Dexter's Laboratory. That was a little more risque. I've also cosplayed as Mitsuri from Demon Slayer, Nezuko from Demon Slayer, um, Raven from Teen Titans. Like I've done like quite a few like different cosplays. But I think my most favorite one was probably like Dexter's mom, because I feel like I kind of broke like I broke my algorithm with that one.
Honestly, it's kind of funny. I don't see too many people cosplaying like the moms of any character, let alone like Dexter's mom, especially nowadays.
Yeah, like I don't know why, but it was like during Halloween, and I called it Milftober essentially. So like I initially wanted to cosplay as like a bunch of like anime and like TV series like moms. I did like Peggy Hill. I did Linda from Bob's Burgers. Like I really wanted to like go all out.
I mean, yeah, get the MILF cosplay bag. So, what sort of stuff are you up to nowadays? Uh, like,
So like
go on.
musically or
Just in general, whether it's career or hobby.
well, I still do my full-time like content creation work. I mostly have just been like gaming with my friends because I feel like it's very therapeutic considering like the timeline that we're in currently. Um,
Yeah,
Other than that, like I have been working on quite a few tracks on FL that I plan on releasing this year. Hopefully, some of them will get approved by a label. I've like really changed up my sound a lot. Um, Initially, I started producing like mid 2023, I want to say. So I wasn't very good at it, in my opinion. Like I initially first started producing, and I didn't really know shit about it. I was like, like I love this type of music, and I really want to like create it, but I didn't really have like the structures down properly. I didn't know how to mix and master properly. But I've like really learned a lot like the past like what like almost 2 years of doing it. I haven't really released anything yet because I've been trying to like cultivate my own like mix and master, like I guess my own way of doing it. And I've been really focusing on like trying to perfect everything because I'm like a really big perfectionist. I always put like a lot of time and effort into everything that I do. Like it doesn't really matter like what I do. Like I'm always gonna put like 3000% energy into it, like and try to make it as perfect as I can get it.
yeah. Honestly, that's pretty cool. I've listened to a couple of stuff that you've put out, and honestly, I know it's probably from like a couple years ago, but I still enjoyed it.
Thanks. I definitely put a lot of my energy into those tracks, but I was such a novice when it came to like producing. I would love to like go back and rework those and like re-release those at some point because I've
Yeah,
really like changed my sound so much. Initially whenever I first started producing, I wanted to produce up-tempo hardcore. So whenever I first got into dance music, I was really into happy hardcore. And whenever I first started like creating my own mixes and like my own sets and DJing at places, that's what I was doing was happy hardcore because that's like what I grew up on. And then I was like, okay, like don't get me wrong, I love happy hardcore. It's definitely like a, like my all-time favorite essentially, but I really wanted to start branching out into different stuff because I really wanted like a new sound. So I was browsing Beatport one day and I started getting into like up tempo and stuff like that. I was really inspired by like Miss Cait and like Anger Fist and like artists like that essentially. And I started like really getting into like the heavy